Tonight, for 10 rounds, former two-time world champion Vinny Pazienza squares off against Canadian champ Jacques LeBlanc. Tonight, Vinny Pazienza will be pointing in two directions in the ring, pointing to his opponent, Jacques LeBlanc, who 10 months ago went the distance against Roberto Duran. And Paz points to Duran, looking to send a message for their upcoming showdown.
LeBlanc is a good fighter. You know, he does a little bit of everything basically well, but he's just not exciting, you know, and that's the difference. I fight with a lot of excitement, a lot of drive, a lot of intensity. That's what makes me dangerous. And, you know, I punch hard. I punch hard, and I think, although this guy's never been off his feet, you know, things happen. And I want to show Duran that I don't only have the youth, but I'm going to have the power and the speed when we step in the ring in June.
Pazienza watched last week as Roberto Duran knocked out Terry Thomas in the 4th round. A one-sided, overmatched affair, but Paz knows what's in store.
He's got a big punch. You know what I mean? He can hit. He's still a little cagey. He knows the tricks. But, I mean, you know, if you come into a fight with me and just think that a big punch is going to dictate, it's not going to happen, especially for him, the way he's been talking about me and everything. Hell, I'm going to go back to the drawing board after this. This is part of my training camp, this fight. I just wanted to get out in front of the people. I didn't have to take this fight. I wanted to take it because he fought LeBlanc, and I wanted to get out in front of the people. I love the crowd. I love the fight game. Get in there and get it on. But this is part of my training camp. You know, I'm going right back to the drawing board. The next day, I'm going to train like an animal for Duran, feel no pain. So I don't know what he's going to do with that big punch when I don't feel it. I'm going to be into a different planet. I go into a world where there's no pain when I step into the ring, and he's gonna be in for a long night when he steps in the ring with me.
10 months ago, Jacques LeBlanc gave Duran a long night. LeBlanc losing a 10-round decision. His eye closed since the 4th. LeBlanc toughed it out against the former 4-time world champ. Now he samples a former 2-time world champ.
Well, you get Vinny that telegram a lot of punch, and you get Duran that doesn't telegram punch. And you get Vinny that's more busier than Duran, and you get Duran that's a little bit more laid back.
When Paz is on the attack, there are no secrets. LeBlanc likes it that way and plots his course.
Back up punch, take a half-step punch. All these little tricks in boxing. You know, boxing is just not offense. You know, you need a defense. You need both. You can't just be an all-round boxer by just being an offense fighter. So I think because my strong points have always been my jab and my counter punching, and I got a good defense. So I won't have to chase him to hit him. I'll just have to make half a step and hit him. So maybe that could make a difference in the fight.
LeBlanc, who has never been down, is looking for Pazienza to be looking ahead, because the truth is there's only one guy on Vinny's mind, Roberto Duran.
Every day somebody mentions him to me. It's turned into the fight that the people really want to see. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I really believe it's going to be his best effort in a long time, because he realizes it's his last hurrah. And I'm looking forward to it because there's so much excitement around, and he's talked so much trash about me. But, I mean, we should, you know, I'd like to make a little deal with him before the fight. I'll have my lawyer draw up a contract. If I beat him, he should go back to school. I mean, he's only been living in this country for over 20 years. He should go back to school and learn how to speak English. And if he beats me, I'll quit boxing, and I'll join the Panamanian bobsled team.
And the crowd in anticipation, all standing now for the entrance of Vinny Pazienza, the colorful one. And this has become almost a second home for Vinny Paz. 2-time world champion, lightweight champion of the world. Then he went up to junior middleweight to beat Gilbert Delay. And now the Tasmanian Devil is making his entrance into the ring. As you can see, that we bought some space on Vinny's head for a little promotion.
Well, Pazienza says this is his network. It takes a while for a fighter, but when he's good enough to feel the warmth of a walk like this, he uses it as part of his sight. You connect with the crowd. Make your opponent feel alone in the ring. This crowd is in the palm of the hand of Vinny Pazienza, not in his opponent's.
Pazienza said, "I did not come back just to say I could get in the ring again." He wants to keep on fighting to win a championship. It's a question of which weight class will he go after. As we take a look at the tail of the tape, Pazienza always pushing it to the limit. Now he is up at 168, which is the super middleweight limit. And Paz probably would have an easier time fighting as a light heavyweight now than to ever go back down to middleweight. Jacques LeBlanc, a natural junior middleweight, and this is the heaviest he has ever weighed, 166. 154 is his natural weight. He was up to 162 against Roberto Duran, so he will look a little pudgy in the ring tonight against Pazienza. Here are the Connecticut rules. Standing 8 count is in effect. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the bell only in the final round, and it's scored on a 10-point must scoring system, and Vinny Pazienza doesn't want this to get to the scoring system. Now here is the champ setting up the strengths and weaknesses of these two fighters.
On tonight's Boxing Blackboard, brought to you by Head & Shoulders, former 2-time champion of the world, Vinny Pazienza. Your strengths are speed. You're able to rob opponents of their will with your speed. You slow young opponents down. Then you bring in your effective explosions. Your experience is the key because of timing. Your weaknesses, Vinny? Sometimes as a master showman, you like to brawl. You love to give your fans a show even when it's unnecessary, and that's because you get too excited. It's easy to see people trying to calm you down between rounds, which they may do against your opponent tonight, Jacques LeBlanc. Your strength is boxing ability. Great focus to not look for a KO. And head movement, Jacques. Without moving your feet, you conserve energy. Your weaknesses won't lead to a gold rush. Too defensive, and it's hard to win fights backing up. And with your lack of power, it's tough to keep the top professionals away.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials assigned by the commission for the next event of the evening. The judges will be Dr. Clark Sammartino, Lou Bogash, and William Gant. Your referee is Steve Smoger. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Promotions, Art Palullo promoter, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beer, presents 10 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division. Introducing, in the red corner, fighting out of Waltham, Mass, weighing in at 166 pounds, with a professional record of 22 wins, 7 defeats, 2 draws, with 5 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jacques LeBlanc. And in the blue corner, from Providence, Rhode Island, he weighed in at 168 pounds. His professional record is 36 wins, 5 defeats with 27 KOs. He is a 3-time world champion. They call him the Tasmanian Devil. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, the very popular Vinny Pazienza.
Respect the bell at all times and protect yourself at all times. Don't touch gloves. We don't go unless we touch. That's right.
The veteran referee Steve Smoger, Vinny Pazienza, who is playing it very safe here tonight against Jacques LeBlanc. Now you take a look at LeBlanc, there's no question he is just too heavy for this fight, too heavy for himself. Paz heavily favored, but just keep in mind, LeBlanc has fought as a professional for 12 years. He has fought 266 rounds. He has gone 10 rounds on 20 occasions, and he has never been down. And that's what Pazienza is trying to do right now. Put LeBlanc down, something that Roberto Duran was unable to do.
Yes, he wants to put him down. Yes, he wants to knock him out, but he also wants to get a good workout in this. This is a prelude to the fight with Duran. He wants to make a statement tonight. A statement that, yes, he's in great shape. Yes, he can move. Yes, he's hard to hit. And yes, he has power.
Pazienza says tonight LeBlanc, who's fought most of his fights, 28 of his 31 in Canada, is up to the major leagues. He says he's been in the minors, and he includes his fight with Duran, who he feels right now has just gotten too old and is slowed down and could not take out a guy like Jacques LeBlanc.
And that's because he believes Duran has not been fighting the level of competition where Duran should be. And he even says that Duran is not in his level of competition. Vinny Pazienza. Pazienza's been fighting since he was 5 years old. Turned pro way back in 1983.
He won 2 championships. He won the lightweight crown, then lost it in his first defense against Greg Haugen. And what really started the animosity between Pazienza and Duran was that Duran was working with Haugen for that second fight, and Pazienza feels that Duran kind of taking credit for lifting Haugen over Vinny Pazienza. Tasmanian Devil then had 3 attempts at the junior welterweight crown against Roger Mayweather, Hector Camacho, and Loretta Garza, and lost all 3. And when he fought Garza and was stopped and was completely cut up back in December of 90 at the age of 28, it was thought then that Vinny Pazienza was through, washed up over the hill. And here he is 3 years later, through an automobile accident which he suffered 2 broken vertebrae in his neck. Vinny Pazienza is bigger, stronger, and better than he ever was. Oh, yeah. Found out he was, at that point, just fighting at the wrong way, starving himself and not going into the championship fights in the best condition because of that.
But it's a different Pazienza, like we saw in our last fight. This is a different Pazienza than as a lightweight and junior welterweight. He has more movement now. As a lightweight and a junior welterweight, he was trying on the inside, just muscling his opponent around, staying inside, taking punches.
Vinny Pazienza.
Left hook and step to the left. Try to get behind him. Hey, you're hurting this kid. You're hurting bad to the body. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep them legs working. Keep that movement. Keep circling. Everything you're doing is good. Just a little bit more hard body. Okay. Like a 5-1. Okay. Or a 6-1. You know what I mean? 6-5.
Outstanding work. Kevin Rooney is saying go downstairs to the body. Against a fighter like LeBlanc, LeBlanc can take all those headshots. He can move his head, but he can't move that body. You take the body away from your opponent, and the head will fall. But Kevin Rooney understands. Kevin Rooney, a former boxer, Casamado trainer, real technician too.
Jacques LeBlanc, who grew up in Moncton, Canada, and he was a hockey player as a kid, and he said that's the perfect leader to boxing. He actually took boxing lessons for his hockey career, but then he started to like boxing so much, he turned in the skates for some gloves. And he comes into this fight against Pazienza feeling that defense is the trick. To jab, try not to get hit, and he knows the potentially the cut of Pazienza in the past, and quite frankly, that's what Jacques LeBlanc is aiming for. Find a spot, try to puff up Pazienza. He says that I'm not a big puncher, but I hurt you every round. That's what he's been able to do.
Yeah, and you know, he was a left-handed hockey player. He is scoring with that left hand. Earlier in this round, he landed a nice left hand that knocked Pazienza off balance. Says he has more power in his left hand than he does in his right, and most right-handed fighters carry the power behind them.
But the name Jacques LeBlanc, I think LeBlanc also describes his punching power. There are many blanks in there. He has only 5 knockouts in his 22 wins, and his last one came back in May of 1991, nearly 3 years ago. And the knockout before that goes all the way back to October of '83. He knocked out 4 of his first 7 opponents and just 1 since 1983. So that is why Vinny Pazienza goes in feeling quite safe. As he said, this is part of his training camp towards a possible matchup against Duran. Now, let me ask you, with those things in mind, can a Pazienza get careless in a fight like this?
Safe in a match like this, but this is an extremely dangerous fight. Dangerous because of the big fight coming up. Aside from getting beat, the real danger here is you hurt your hand hitting the opponent on the head, or you get cut from a headbutt, or you look bad in your performance. You know, the danger is there. It's not danger of losing, it's danger of other things happening. And fighters like LeBlanc are harder to face than the Roberto Duran's of the world. You know exactly what Roberto Duran's going to do. Jacques LeBlanc can come in and do something that's strange, weird, unusual, and catch you by surprise.
He's a tough kid. Back to Foxwoods. And a standing room only crowd tonight to watch one of their favorites. Comes down from Rhode Island, Vinny Pazienza, at the age of 31. He feels as if he is just embarking on his professional boxing career, and he is whipping out the jab and now jumping all over Jacques LeBlanc. Pazienza turning it on. And LeBlanc getting in and getting out. LeBlanc's corner, they want him to use the jab a little more.
They want him to keep that jab pumping, and they want him to keep moving. You got to keep the movement with Pazienza. You know, he's not a fighter that wastes a lot of energy. He doesn't move by his feet. Where he moves is from the waist up. LeBlanc, and that's a nice, I love that movement from the waist up. You take away the power out of your opponent's punch, and you're still in range where you can come back with a shot.
LeBlanc went from hockey to fighting in the tough man contest, tavern fights in Canada, and has established a record of 22-7-2, and had a nice little career going, especially up north. He was the Canadian middleweight champ and is currently the Canadian junior middleweight champ, but he has lost 3 in a row. To Duran, he lost a disputed 10-rounder to Alex Hilton, and then lost an 8-rounder to Fitzgerald Bruni back in February.
Yeah, those tavern fights, he said he had a lot of fun. It was no weight limit, and you fought all comers. He said, I was making $300 a week as a junior in high school.
But you can see the toughness. He's a fighter who's never been down, but right now he's fighting way over his head against Paz and way over his weight. He's the junior middleweight champion in Canada. That's 154 pounds. He's 166 coming in, and he's hanging in there through 3 rounds with Paz.
And really realizes that he is fighting above his head. However, he says he thinks he can beat Pazienza. He says it's the perfect match because he thinks Vinny is overlooking him to fight Duran. He said that Pazienza comes at you all the time. Well, maybe the Pazienza as a lightweight and a junior welterweight, but look at this Pazienza. He's all over the ring. In a fight like this, too, they're more difficult because you have to control what is going on. You have to put on the show. Every motion that you make inside those ropes has to be for a reason. With Duran, you can let him score a little bit, and then you score. You take the play away from him. You can work him a little bit. This kid, Jacques LeBlanc, is real hard to work with. You play off your opponent. And if your opponent is Jacques LeBlanc, that's many times very difficult. Back downstairs to the body goes Pazienza.
Vinny Pazienza in the white trunks, 36-5 with 27 knockouts, dancing now around Jacques LeBlanc in the red trunks. He comes in at 22-7-2 with 5 KOs. Only the 4th fight in the United States for LeBlanc, who actually has moved here in this neighborhood in Massachusetts. Been living here the last 8 years, but his money comes and fights back in Canada, and that's why he has fought there for the most part.
Yeah, he's built up a good reputation there, and he draws a good crowd when he fights in Canada, up north. Pazienza, triple left hook. You don't see many of those. His idol was Willie Pep, Will of the Wisp, former featherweight champion of the world, one of the greatest of all time.
Pazienza looking ahead, of course, to a possible showdown with Duran, which at this point is not yet signed, sealed, and delivered. But the other names that he is talking about: WBC champ Nigel Benn, WBO champ Chris Eubank, and also the IBF super middleweight champion James Toney. I think that James Toney is certainly interested in a matchup against a colorful figure, a potential moneymaker in a match of that sort, Pazienza and Toney. And then perhaps going on to the light heavyweight.
Work his way up. And started out as a lightweight. Take them all.
Hey, Virgil Hill be
first all-divisional champion. Hit the home run ball. You know, Vinny Pazienza is trying for that knockout. He wants to, as we heard him say, he wants to put LeBlanc on the canvas. But he is wasting a lot of these shots. Earlier they told him between rounds, go downstairs to the body. I don't think you're going to knock out LeBlanc by hitting him in the head. He's too tough. He wants to hang in there too long. You got to go downstairs to the body. Get him slowing down. Although there was a good right hand by Pazienza. Great movement by Pazienza, and what a pace. Good jabs by Pazienza. He's advancing behind the jab. They told LeBlanc earlier between rounds, you got to jab more. You can't let this man out jab you because Pazienza will eat you alive outside all night.
So Pazienza sits down, perhaps looking ahead to his matchup with Roberto Duran. There's so much venom between Pazienza and Duran, and it's interesting when you consider that when Paz was a kid, in his garage where he used to practice boxing, on the walls were two posters, one of Muhammad Ali and the other, would you believe, Roberto Duran. Was Duran his boyhood hero?
He wasn't a hero, but he was a guy that I liked the way that he fought, because I liked that fire and viciousness that he fought with. I liked Ali because he was such a great entertainer and great ability. He was a showman. But I liked Duran because, you know, he had that fire. He was a nasty guy, and I love to fight like that. You know, when I get in the ring, I like to get down and dirty, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. Hey, it's a fight. It's not a tennis match.
Oh, and as a lightweight and junior welterweight, he was more like a Roberto Duran. In the trenches, he would fight you tooth and nail, tough on the inside. Now, as a super middleweight, he is more like Muhammad Ali, moving the jab outside, getting the angle on his opponent.
Kevin Rooney helped to turn that around. He just thought Pazienza was standing in front of guys like in the fight against Floyd Mayweather. And he got Duran now not to stand in front of his opponent, be elusive, show the sides, in and out. Don't slug it out. He said there's a smart way to slug. Don't trade. But when an opponent's hurt, that's when you go in and try to take him out.
Now, this is the way that Pazienza fought as an amateur. As an amateur, he had a record of 100 wins and 12 losses. He was the #1 rated lightweight at 132 pounds.
Paz comes into this fight with a very tender nose that he hurt this week in sparring. Any effect that has coming into a fight?
No, you're immune to pain when you're in the ring. You're so focused. You are so mentally tuned to the fight. I thought before they could cut a fighter's head off and he'd continue throwing punches. I mean, you are just so focused in a fight.
Well, he talked about that. Again, looking ahead to Duran, that he's in such a zone that he feels no pain.
And that is true. That's why you see these fighters get knocked down and they get up and they say, I'm fine. Well, why didn't you stop the fight? Well, they don't know that they are in pain. But boom.
And now pouring on is Pazienza.
Look at the crowd. the move now.
And going a little low is Vinny Paz, who right now is ranked number 6 by the WBC as a middleweight, and believe it or not, he's still ranked as a junior middleweight. He owned that crown. He's ranked number 1. But you know what? He may be a heavyweight before he ever get down to junior middleweight. 35 seconds to go in round number 5.
Very pretty. He is so good to watch. See this movement in there by him? You move over just a little bit, take the power out of the punch, and then you counter.
Why is LeBlanc so difficult to knock down?
You have to find where your opponent's weaknesses are. First of all, he's mentally tough. He knows how to survive. He's done everything. He has sparring partner syndrome. He knows what to do to last. But Pazienza, what he needs to do is look around and find those holes. There is a way to get Jacques LeBlanc knocked out. Watch how Jacques LeBlanc rolls with this punch. Watch, the right hand, he pulls it back, goes up under, automatically you drop. When you get hit and you get caught when you hit in the air like that, you got to train yourself to drop. Lower that center of gravity immediately. Not drop to the canvas, but drop down. Lower your knees, lower your rear. Get low.
All right, Smarty, end of the last round as the bell sounded. He left us with, there is a way to knock out Jacques LeBlanc. You want to continue that thought?
Remember in the second and third round, even Kevin Rooney saw it in the corner because I heard him talking about it. He said, stay on the body. With a fighter like LeBlanc, you forget about his head. Go downstairs to the body. You hit him in that body long enough, you will find that sweet spot. Also in the body, the punches accumulate. Your opponents shake off the headshots. They can clear the cobwebs. You don't clear the cobwebs from the body.
Well, we've already said that Jacques LeBlanc, not known for his heavy punching power. Let's go across now to Vinny Pazienza. Last week in the Roberto Duran fight, as you sized up Duran and Pazienza, you made the comment that Duran is not going to get hurt by Vinny Pazienza.
Boy, I really heard it up here, too. Everybody was listening around this area. Well, what I'm saying is Pazienza does not have overwhelming power. He's not a George Foreman type puncher. He doesn't go out there and muscle his opponent around and then just club him to death. What he does is he takes his time, more like the old Larry Holmes. He will take his time. Vinny Pazienza has 12 KOs after the third round. He waits for the perfect opportunity to take his opponent out and then crack. He smacks him and he knocks him out. He has great power, but it's not the power that's forced. Tonight, I am extremely concerned because I get the feeling that he is so intent on getting a knockout that he may be forcing the power just a little bit.
Well, in his 5 fights since coming back from the accident, he has 3 knockouts, and they have come in the 6th, in the 10th, and the 11th rounds. Now looking out the jab is Jacques LeBlanc.
Yeah, they want more jabs from him.
And Pazienza pounds his chest right in the corner of LeBlanc.
And a perfect time to work the crowd. You get that crowd to get LeBlanc backing up, which is just what Jacques did. You get back in that corner, you beat your chest, the crowd's going to roar. He starts backing up, you can take the play away from him. You take the tempo away from your opponent, which is just what Pazienza did. Oh, he's so good at working the crowd, and they love him.
Albert and the champ ringside USA's Tuesday night fights with the Foxwoods Casino tonight in Connecticut. And Vinny Pazienza, who's trying to close in on some of the bigger fights, now taking on Jacques LeBlanc, whose claim to fame was going a 10-round distance against Roberto Duran about 10 months ago in a fight in which Duran shut the eye of LeBlanc early in the fight, and LeBlanc went the 10-round distance, and that pretty much is a measuring stick now for Vinny Pazienza. He knows LeBlanc has never been down and went to 10 against Duran, so Pazienza intent to put LeBlanc down in this fight, and we have already moved into the 7th round in a scheduled 10-rounder. And what's going on in the corner of Vinny Pazienza, the champ now, with Kevin Rooney.
Kevin, are you happy with Vinny's performance?
I'm satisfied. I'm never happy, but I'm satisfied. He's winning every round. You know, LeBlanc's a tough kid. I'd like to see Vinny knock him out, but you know, I'm not expecting it. But he's a tough kid. But I'm happy with everything Vinny's doing. You know, I'm a perfectionist. I think he can do a lot better.
Do you think? What else would you do?
Well, I'd concentrate more on the body, stay on the body. I'd put him on the rope a little bit more, keep him on the rope, or I'd box him a little bit more. And Vinny can do all those things. He's a complete fighter. So I'm never happy unless I see everything.
Exactly. However, he is taking shots earlier in this round. Do you think he's getting hit too much?
Who, Vinny?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't see him getting hit anything.
But is he trying to sucker LeBlanc into it?
Over there, he was trying to do that. Yes, that's part of his little. He got little tricks like that. I try to get him away from that, but they work. But see, LeBlanc's just strictly a counterpuncher. It's hard to look good with a guy like this. You know, it's very hard. I think Vinny looks spectacular, but the guy's gonna go to distance. He wants to go to distance, unless Vinny can put a 5-punch combination together. You know, it looks like he's looking to quit a little bit, but you got to give him reason to quit.
I thought earlier Vinny did a wonderful job downstairs on the body, but did he get off of it?
Well, Vinny's boxing him. You know, Vinny's his own man, so it's hard to stay with the plan. But you're right. He was going to the body real well, but you know, he chose to do something different.
Looks like he's having fun now.
He always has fun. That's why he brings excitement. He's the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. Brings the most excitement. I think people should recognize Vinny Pazienza as one of the most exciting fighters in the world.
Kevin, you also look like you're having fun over here, but you broke a good sweat. You're going to get that lightweight tonight.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
Back to Al Albert.
All right, champ, and now Pazienza working LeBlanc and working the crowd at the same time. Inside 20 seconds to go in round number 7. And LeBlanc now fighting back and spinning away from the Tasmanian Devil.
Never let your opponent get the satisfaction of thinking that he hurt you. Watch this. You turn away. Get away. Jacques LeBlanc wanted nothing. No part of that after the bell stuff. He was ready to sit down on the stool. Nice job of him, though, ending up in his own corner.
And Jacques LeBlanc comes out, and you could just tell how he is lifted in confidence. He now has into the 8th round. He went to 10 with Duran. And this becomes the mutual opponent of the two.
Yeah, and the Duran fight was pretty much the same way. I don't think that I gave LeBlanc 1 round, and I've not given him 1 round in this fight. However, that could be dangerous because we just saw it.
That's right. Turner-Jones fight.
Earlier tonight.
Anthony Jones won the NABF welterweight crown.
Good left uppercut from LeBlanc. His best punch is that left hand. Good right hand by Pazienza, but LeBlanc does a good job of rolling it.
And they trade here in the 8th round. I think LeBlanc is going to ask for a rematch, but has to be on ice. LeBlanc, a former hockey player from Canada, and got into boxing when he was taking boxing lessons to try to help out his hockey career.
We call it the ice box.
One more of those we will ask you to leave.
Ice boxer.
And not go to one of the corners. This is scheduled for 10.
Go stand in the corner.
Now, we had talked about Roberto Duran, who has put together 6, 7, 8 victories in his latest comeback, and the opponents that he has faced, for the most part, inexperienced and soft, all with no power. Mike Akery, his advisor, had mentioned before the fight, well, are you going to say the same thing about Pazienza's opponents? But in his comeback, he's faced Luis Santana, Brett Lally, Lloyd Hunnigan, Robbie Sims, and Dan Sherry. I wouldn't exactly call them inexperienced or soft. May have been getting up there a bit, but I would not put them in the category of Duran's opponents. Vinny Pazienza, 11 years younger than Duran, in tip-top condition. And I think that Roberto certainly, as always, thinking with his heart.
Yeah, and we all remember ourselves at our very best. Usually is when you are 21 years old and vibrant and full of energy.
Hey, you may talk yourself back into the ring.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're not quite there yet.
Sure. Ninth round, and Vinny Pazienza comes out guns a-blazing. Well, he got 8 rounds of work in. And now has 6 minutes to try to accomplish his feat and accomplish what nobody else has in putting Jacques LeBlanc on the canvas.
Off his feet. And a little blood now from the nose of LeBlanc. Pazienza aggressive. Very strong, Vinny Pazienza. See him push around LeBlanc. Spoke to LeBlanc, a natural 54-pounder. Pazienza able just to muscle him around. Oh, the crowd wants for Pazienza to get a knockout too. This crowd cheering you like that really fires you up.
Well, LeBlanc holding his own, hanging in there. I mean, Vinny Pazienza hasn't taken any rounds off.
No, the work has been done by Pazienza. LeBlanc has been extremely defensive in this fight. Boom, good right hand, buckle the knees of LeBlanc. Let's try that again with a left hook coming behind the right hand. Well, when LeBlanc gets hurt, that's when he fights. He knows he can't back into the rope. He knows he has nowhere to hide. He fights. Well, this could be a fight out, but a hockey match breaks out.
I think that's what LeBlanc is hoping for.
Oh, sorry, do I get the corner now?
I think you just want to get in the corner. I may have you find Emmanuel Stewart, and the two of you
tell him my jokes.
off in the sunset. Well, if this one goes the distance, then how do you judge Pazienza versus Duran according to Jacques LeBlanc?
Still the same kind of fight as I had envisioned when I first thought about this match. I mean, that fight is going to be a great contrast of styles. The one thing that has given Duran trouble over the history of his career has been speed and movement. That is what Vinny Pazienza has. I think that whoever controls the fight, and they have to control the early rounds, if Duran can come out and control this speed of Pazienza, I think Duran's got a shot at winning the fight. If not, it's all Vinny Pazienza.
9 rounds down, 1 round to go, and spring has finally arrived. And
there's a master in the corner, Kevin Rooney.
You won every round. I don't want you no cards from you. Don't even get hit. I mean, just keep the jab right in his face. Okay. Just keep the jab right in his face. That's all you gotta do.
You wanna go, Vinny? You'll get my beat, Vinny. He's a tough kid.
Oh yeah.
Father Angelo leaning over with the beard.
Keep the jab in his face. Jab in his face.
Great inspiration.
Okay. Just keep boxing. He's that jab.
Kevin Rooney in 10th and getting the decision. Good 10 rounds in, but you know Vinny Pazienza is going out there right now. 3 minutes to knock this guy down. That is in his mind. He wants, for whatever it is worth, that leg up on Roberto Duran.
You bet. Well, you want your opponent to lay in bed and think about the punches that you've thrown. Think about how good you were, how good you are. You want your opponent worried coming into that ring. See, that's a great thing about boxing, too. A little time, they're going to pull some of that tape and tape it back up. As they sweat, the sweat gets underneath the tape. But think about it in school, when the big bully in the first hour says, you know, I'm going to get you after class. I'm going to get you after school. Then you got to sit there all day and think about it and worry about it. And as you're worrying about it, you're thinking, my gosh, that big bully is tougher, he's bigger, he's meaner, he's stronger. That's, in many cases, what happens in a fight. And if you can go into a match like this, if you're Vinny Pazienza, and put fear into your opponent and fear into the man that you're going to meet down the road, that's very important. That is a leg up for you.
Not knowing Roberto Duran, I don't think he did any of that.
No fear from Duran from just about anybody, except perhaps the fear of the speed. That's what gives Duran trouble. However, like I say, Duran is the man that can control that.
Jacques LeBlanc, who has faced both of them, says with Pazienza, he telegraphs what he's going to do. You know what he's going to do. And with Roberto Duran, you just don't know when the punches are coming. You could ask Terry Thomas about that.
Well, you know what he's going to do, and he still does it. I mean, that's when you know somebody's good.
Good workout, fellas. Good work.
You have to be careful. When you're trying to get that knockout, especially in the later rounds, watch how LeBlanc lowers his head, and Vinny, when he runs in, tries to go downstairs, the body drops his guard. He could run his face into the top of the head of LeBlanc. That is so dangerous. Cause a cut. And it hurts. Good combination by LeBlanc, and Vinny just pushes him off, muscling around.
Looks like Jacques LeBlanc has done it again. Going the distance with a former world champion. Can Pazienza close it in the final seconds? And Paz gets himself a very nice 30-minute workout in front of the crowd, in front of the cameras.
He just wiped at his eye. I hope he didn't run his head in. Pazienza did. Yeah.
And Jacques LeBlanc still has never been down. Ten rounds complete. Little suspense as far as the scorecards are concerned, and we will be back to officially close it out with the announcement of the scores. But first, let's take a look at tonight's PowerPoint. Welcome back to Foxwoods. We have the decision. Here's Chuck Hull.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Lou Bogash scores the bout 190. Judge William Gant scores the bout 189. And Judge Dr. Clark Sam Martino scores the bout 190 for the winner by unanimous decision, the Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza.
Well, with the Major League Baseball season underway, Vinny Pazienza pitches the shutout over Jacques LeBlanc. He goes to 37-5, and now
Once again,
look
ladies and
ahead
gentlemen,
to some of the bigger names in the boxing world and some colorful matchups. Vinny Pazienza with the victory over Jacques LeBlanc, a 30-minute workout for the Tasmanian Devil. That wraps it up tonight on USA's Tuesday Night Fights. Next week, we shift to the blue.